Disclaimer: this story explores mature emotional themes including trust, deception, and the complexities of adult relationships. While it does not contain explicit material, viewer discretion is advised. It started on a Thursday night. One of those still, quiet evenings where nothing in the air hints that your world is about to shift. I was in the kitchen reheating leftover pasta, thinking about nothing in particular, when my husband Evan walked in smiling in that nervous way he does when he's about to ask for something. But he wasn't alone. Behind him was a man I didn't recognize. Tall, maybe mid-30s, clean-shaven with striking eyes that lingered just a second too long when we met. Evan introduced him casually. "This is Tyler. We went to college together. He's in town for a bit and needed a place to crash." I smiled, polite but confused. Evan had never mentioned a Tyler, not once in the 8 years we'd been married. Tyler extended his hand. "Thanks for letting me stay. I know it's last minute." His grip was firm, but something about it felt calculated. Like he wanted me to notice how confident he was. I couldn't place why, but a knot started to form in my stomach, tight and subtle. Something wasn't right. But I said nothing. We made up the guest room, and over dinner, Tyler charmed his way through our table. Stories from college, jokes about Evan's old habits, questions about me, how we met, what I do for work if we plan to have kids. At first, I chalked it up to curiosity. But his questions were oddly specific, and the way he watched me, like he was studying me, not just listening. After dinner, Evan excused himself to take a work call. Tyler and I sat in awkward silence until he suddenly asked, "Do you ever feel like you know someone too well, or not at all?" I blinked. "What?" He smiled. "Never mind. Just thinking out loud." That night, I couldn't sleep. Evan snored beside me, oblivious, but I was replaying every moment. Tyler's eyes. His tone. The way he seemed to know exactly which topics made me shift in my seat. The next morning, I found him in the kitchen, already dressed, sipping my coffee like he owned the place. "You were up late," he said without turning around. "How would you know?" He turned then, casually leaning on the counter. "Walls are thin." I didn't respond. I just stared. And I saw it again, something underneath the surface. Not interest. Not harmless charm. It was like he was waiting for something. I should have trusted that feeling. Because Tyler didn't come here to visit an old friend. He came with a reason. And whatever it was, it had something to do with me. It's strange how quickly a stranger can start to feel like a fixture in your home. By day 3, Tyler had slipped into our routine almost too easily. He helped Evan with yard work, made breakfast before either of us was up, even offered to fix the loose cabinet door I'd been nagging Evan about for weeks. He was useful, pleasant, but never completely present. There was always something lurking just behind his smile, something I couldn't name but couldn't ignore. Evan, for his part, seemed thrilled to have Tyler around. "Feels like college again," he kept saying, laughing louder than usual, staying up later than usual. They'd drink beers on the back deck, swapping stories about the past, while I sat alone in the living room, scrolling my phone, pretending I didn't feel like the third wheel in my own marriage. But it wasn't just Tyler's presence that unsettled me. It was Evan's shift. I started noticing things: him locking his phone, stepping outside for calls he used to take in front of me, brushing off simple questions with clipped answers. We'd always had an easy rhythm, but now I was offbeat, and he didn't seem to notice. One night, I asked, "How close were you and Tyler in college?" Evan looked up from his drink. "We were friends. Not best friends or anything." "Why? You just never mentioned him." "Not once." He shrugged. "People lose touch. He messaged me out of the blue last week. That didn't sit right with me. You don't invite someone you haven't spoken to in years to stay in your home without talking it over first. At least, Evan never used to." I started digging. Quietly. While they were out grabbing groceries, I went through Tyler's duffel bag. I know how that sounds, but something in my gut said he wasn't just passing through. I didn't find much, just a laptop, some clothes, and a worn photo folded into a notebook. It was of Evan. Younger, probably college-aged. But Tyler wasn't in the photo. Only Evan and me. It was a picture from early in our relationship, one I didn't even know existed. Why did he have it? When they got back, Tyler gave me a look that made my stomach turn. Not angry, not surprised, just patient. Like he knew exactly what I was doing and was just waiting for me to figure out the rest. I still hadn't told Evan. I didn't know how, or if I should. But that night, as I lay in bed pretending to sleep, I heard a quiet knock, 3 soft taps on the guest room wall, the one that shared space with our bedroom. A signal. And it wasn't meant for me. By the end of the week, I wasn't sleeping. Tyler stayed longer than planned, no clear end date, no explanation. Every morning felt like waking up in someone else's life. My house didn't feel like mine anymore. My marriage didn't feel like mine anymore. I wasn't sure if I was paranoid or just finally seeing clearly. It was a text that pushed things further. I saw it light up Evan's phone while he was in the shower. Just a name, blocked number, and a message that read, "She's getting suspicious. Don't lie for me again." I took a screenshot. I don't know why I hesitated, but something in me knew not to confront him just yet. I needed to understand what was happening first. That same day, I got a call from Evan's sister, Naomi. We talk maybe once a month, so her timing felt odd. She asked casually, "So, what's Tyler like in real life?" In real life. Yeah. I was just surprised to hear Evan let him stay with you too. I thought they hadn't spoken since, well, you know. I didn't know. Since what? She paused. Never mind. It's not my place. Naomi, please. Another pause. Then she exhaled. Back in college, there was an incident. Tyler had a thing for someone Evan was dating. Got a little obsessive. Crossed lines. It got messy. They cut contact after that. I figured Evan told you. He hadn't. He definitely hadn't. That night, I watched them from the upstairs hallway. Tyler had made dinner, again, and Evan was drinking more than usual. I noticed Tyler's hand graze Evan's shoulder when he leaned over to pass him a plate. Too comfortable. Too familiar. Evan flinched, just slightly. But he didn't say anything. After they went to bed, I waited. Around 1 a.m., I crept down the hall. Tyler's door was ajar. His room was dark, but he wasn't asleep. He sat at the edge of the bed, phone in hand, staring at my and Evan's wedding photo on the dresser. He looked up when he saw me. "You're not who he thinks you are," he said, calm, steady. I swallowed hard. "And you are." He smiled. "I know what you're hiding. Evan deserves the truth. One of us should give it to him." That's when I realized this wasn't just about Evan. This was personal. Tyler wasn't trying to steal him. He was trying to destroy what we had, bit by bit. And the worst part? I couldn't even tell if Evan was in on it. I didn't sleep that night. After Tyler's warning, if that's even what it was, I sat in the dark, playing back everything from the past week, trying to figure out where the truth ended and the manipulation began. What was I hiding? What did he think I was hiding? I wasn't perfect. Evan and I had our cracks, small ones we mostly ignored, but we were solid. At least, I thought we were. But now even that felt like a lie someone else had written for us. The next morning, Evan was distant. Hungover. Avoidant. I asked if we could talk and he brushed me off. Not now. Work stuff. But I caught the way his eyes shifted when I mentioned Tyler's name. He was scared. Later that day, I came home early from work and found them mid-conversation on the back deck. They didn't hear me come in, and I stayed quiet, hidden just beyond the sliding door. "You said this was just a few days," Evan snapped. Tyler sounded calmer. "Plans changed. I told you she's asking questions. She's not the only one who can ask." The silence that followed was deafening. Then Evan said, "I made a mistake. I thought I could help you. But this is messed up." "You owe me," Tyler said quietly. You don't get to walk away from that. I stepped back before they could see me, heart pounding. What did Evan owe him? What had they done? That night, I confronted Evan. I didn't plan to, but it came out like it had been living just under my skin for days. I know about the past. I know Tyler wasn't some random friend. I know you've been lying to me. He didn't deny it. He sat down heavily, face in his hands. It happened in college. He got obsessed. With me. With whoever I was dating. It was toxic. I cut him off. Then why is he here? Because he looked at me, and in that moment, I saw it. Shame. Because he knows something. Something I did back then. I thought if I let him stay, it would keep him quiet. I thought I could manage it. I felt like the floor dropped from under me. And what about me? You thought you could manage me too. Before he could answer, the power went out. Everything went dark. Silence blanketed the house. Then the front door creaked open. We both froze. Evan whispered, "Did you lock it?" I shook my head. We heard slow, deliberate footsteps entering the hallway. Tyler was no longer in his room. Tyler stood in the doorway like he belonged there, like he'd never left the room at all. Evan jumped up, instinctively moving between me and him. "What are you doing?" Evan demanded. Tyler said nothing. He just closed the door behind him, slow, deliberate. "We should all talk." "About what?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. My eyes were adjusting to the dark, but the power outage had turned every shadow into a threat. Tyler turned to me. "You really don't know, do you?" Evan shifted, tense. Don't what? Tell her the truth?" "She's your wife, Evan. Doesn't she deserve to know who you really are?" I said stop. Tyler looked at me, and for the first time, I saw something different in his face. Not anger, not obsession. Grief. "You think I came here to ruin you," he said. "You think I'm the problem?" I was silent. He looked at Evan. "Tell her what you did. Or I will." "Don't," Evan repeated, his voice low. Pleading. And then Tyler said it. Flat. Cold. "He left my sister to die." The room collapsed in silence. My mouth went dry. What are you talking about?" I asked. Tyler kept his eyes on Evan. "Senior year. A party. Your golden boy husband got blackout drunk with my little sister. He left her passed out in the backseat of his car while he went inside. It was below freezing that night. My heart thudded so loud I could barely hear him. She was in a coma for weeks. She survived, but barely. Brain damage. Years of rehab. Evan never told anyone. Never apologized. He just disappeared. Started fresh. I turned to Evan. "Is that true?" He looked hollow. Ashamed. "I didn't know she was in the car. I swear. I thought she'd gone home with someone else. When I found out, I couldn't face it. I was a coward." Tyler stepped closer. "You don't get to run from that forever." I watched my sister learn how to walk again. Speak again. And you just moved on. Got married. Built a life. I came here because you don't get to pretend anymore." The room felt smaller by the second. All the tension, the games, the warnings, it wasn't about stealing Evan or breaking us up. Tyler wasn't here for revenge in the way I thought. He was here for justice. Or maybe just truth. I looked at Evan, really looked at him. The man I married, the man I thought I knew, was unraveling in front of me, not because Tyler exposed him, but because, deep down, he'd been waiting for this moment to come. I realized then, the worst betrayal wasn't Tyler's arrival. It was what Evan had buried and who he became while hiding it. And now that the truth was out, none of us were going to leave this house the same. I never imagined our marriage would unravel under a single bulb hanging dead from the ceiling, shadows stretched across the walls, and a stranger, once welcomed, standing at our door like a judge and witness both. But this wasn't about Tyler anymore. Not really. This was about Evan. "I'm sorry," Evan finally said, his voice barely audible. "I didn't mean for any of it to happen. I was young, stupid. I didn't know she was in the car. But you never came forward, Tyler shot back. You never even called. She thought she did something wrong. You let her believe that. Evan's voice cracked. Because I was ashamed. Because I knew if I admitted it, I'd lose everything. You still might, I said quietly. He turned to me then, eyes pleading. You have to believe me. I never meant to hurt her. Or you. I felt like I was standing at a cliff's edge. The man I loved, the life I'd built, all of it was suddenly balancing on something so fragile, his silence. The lie he'd lived wasn't a single moment. It was every day after that, every moment he chose to hide it. I believed in you, I said, tears burning. I trusted you with everything, and you couldn't even trust me with the truth. Evan sank into the couch like his body couldn't hold the weight of it anymore. I wanted to tell you so many times, but every time I looked at you, I saw the life I didn't deserve. That was the worst part. He wasn't a monster. He was just a man who ran from the hardest moment of his life and never stopped running. Tyler stepped forward, but I raised a hand. No more tonight. No more threats. No more secrets. There was a long silence. Then Tyler nodded. I didn't come here for revenge. I came because she needs closure. I needed to see if he even remembered. Turns out he did. He pulled a folded envelope from his coat and dropped it on the table. This is for her. You can read it. Or not. But it's her truth now. As he walked to the door, he paused. This doesn't fix anything. But it's a start. Then he was gone. The door clicked shut, and it was just the two of us again. But nothing about us was the same. I don't know what happens next, I said. Evan looked up, hollowed out. I do. I need to make things right. With her. With myself. And if that means losing you, I'll live with it. I won't lie anymore. There it was truth, finally. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. But I sat down beside him. Because sometimes healing starts with sitting in the wreckage, quietly, together. It's been 3 months since Tyler walked out that door, and in some ways, I'm still picking up the pieces. But for the first time, we're not pretending anymore. There's no lie between us, no secrets in the walls. Just truth, messy, painful, but freeing. Evan met with Tyler's sister. He apologized. Not in the vague, detached way people do to make themselves feel better, but fully, face to face, with no excuses. She listened. She didn't forgive him right away. But she heard him. And that was enough for now. Tyler left town the day after the meeting. No dramatic farewell, no parting shots. Just a quiet message sent to Evan, start being the man you should have been. And Evan? He's doing the work. Therapy. Volunteering with brain injury support groups. He doesn't expect to be redeemed, and maybe that's why he's finally changing. Because he's not doing it to erase the past, he's doing it to stop running from it. As for me, I didn't leave. I thought I would. I even packed a bag. But standing in that doorway with my keys in hand, I realized something important. Healing doesn't always mean walking away. Sometimes it means choosing to rebuild, intentionally, honestly, brick by brick. We went to couples counseling. It wasn't easy. Some days, I hated him. Other days, I hated myself for staying. But through all of it, we talked. We stopped pretending we were fine and started being real. Now, we're not just together, we're present. We fight better. We listen harder. We still have a long way to go, but there's progress. And more than that, there's peace. I also found something I didn't expect, respect for Tyler. For the way he held my husband accountable. For the way he carried his sister's pain with dignity. He didn't come to destroy our marriage, he came to confront a truth that had been buried too long. In the end, that confrontation gave us all a chance to grow. The moral? Secrets always surface. You can bury them for years, build a life on top of them, even convince yourself they're gone, but they will find you. And when they do, you have 2 choices. Double down and lose everything, or face them and rebuild. We chose to rebuild. Not every story ends with fireworks or forgiveness. Some just end with two people sitting in the quiet, choosing to try again. Did you enjoy this story? What kind of stories would you like to hear next? Comment below. We'd love to know what keeps you coming back.